Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to Ignite Awareness, Extinguish Risks, hosted by Kidde in collaboration with our partners at the National Association of State Fire Marshals. I want to take this moment to thank NASFM for their time and collaboration. We support our partners in their effort to share with us some critical information today that I think you're all going to enjoy. Also, throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please enter them into the Q&A feature on Zoom. At the end of the presentation, we'll try to answer as many questions as we can live. Today, you'll hear from Brian Taylor, North Carolina State Fire Marshal, and Yvonette Bonilla, Kidde's Chief Communication and Government Relations Officer. So, Brian, take it away.
Great, Thomas. Thank you for having me here today. And we're here to talk about community risk reduction. NASFL has really taken an active stance in community risk reduction, educating our state fire marshals about the possibilities and areas that they really need to help their local fire departments on community risk reduction. And of course, FEMA defines community risk reduction, as you see here, to lower risk within the communities. U.S. Fire Administration, per the U.S. Fire Administrator, CRR can be an intentional focus and knowledge and activities and lowering the hazards and the risks in their areas of operation. And NFPA is a tool that can use in communities to reduce and bounce back after disasters using data. And we all know that data is important because it's data driven, brings people together and works in shared goals, teaches people and how to prepare and respond to risk and build resilience to handling future emergencies. Well, in North Carolina, in every state, in every community, your community risk reduction can look differently. It depends what that risk is, and it can vary on your geographic locations. If it's the coastal Piedmont for North Carolina or mountain areas, and then you have the Californias with the earthquakes and things of that nature. So you really have to look at the data because it's data driven to what your focus needs to be on community risk reduction. And in North Carolina, of course, we found that we weren't getting an accurate data on our fire deaths. And we started looking into that and requiring fire departments to report to us within 48 hours in administrative rule because we do their ISO inspections for ratings. And so we had some leverage there and some teeth to be able to require them to report to us. And we discovered that we were missing about 20% of the fire deaths in North Carolina. So our action at that time was to create North Carolina Smoke Alarm Saturday. Every Saturday, one Saturday in June, the first Saturday in June, we will go out and fire departments across the country or across the state will actually go and do a smoke alarm canvassing, providing alarms. And Kidde has been a partner in that, and American Red Cross. It's always key to have partners to make a successful event. And we have done this for the last 7 years, and it has been very successful. And we've been able to capture our true fire death problem in North Carolina, which what we have discovered is common across the country because not only that, we'll move to the next slide, and we'll talk about a grant that NASFM applied for to model the program that we have in North Carolina to track the fire deaths. And we currently have 20 states that are participating. And fortunately, we just received a second grant, Fire Act grant, to continue this. And our goal is to have all 50 states reporting on this tool. This identifies our fire death problem and what we need to do to combat that. And so what you see here is our snippet of our civilian fire deaths in North Carolina. We average about 120 a year. And as we all know, one death is too many. And we utilize this. And of course, NASFM is an Esri product. NASFM wants to grow that program and work with departments. And it's not a situation where fire departments may not have a fire investigation unit, and you don't have to do that because we have South Carolina, we have Tennessee, we have Colorado that have great programs to track their fire deaths that they put folks on scene to identify that, not as an investigation, but just collect the data to work on targeting how to combat their fire death problem in their state. So we'll move to the next one. Also in North Carolina, we are very active in our state fair, which our state fair just began this week. And we do fire safety programs there. We call in our local fire departments to have interactive programs, and we allow them to come in a couple of days each. And we have been very successful of reaching folks at our fair. And of course, we have a meet and greet with Sparky. It's been great opportunities. Generally, when programs like this, they get a 2-year stint and rotate, and it has been so successful that the fairs allowed us to continue and not take a break, basically allowing other people to come in. So that's proven success. The outreach that we have there with our interactive programs at the North Carolina State Fair with the engagement with our communities. And of course, everybody has heard about Hurricane Helene and Tropical Storm Helene once it hit North Carolina. And just the partnership with Kidde was remarkable. We had, a third of our state was without power, dealing with the storm. We had people operating on generators for weeks on end. We had people with supplemental heat because it was going into September, October. So we teamed up with Kidde, and they provided us smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, and fire extinguishers. And we were able to distribute that through the Western North Carolina by land and air. And that was successful. And we were very grateful for that partnership to be able to do that, to protect our community in Western North Carolina after that. And then also, generally when we have a traumatic fire death, and I say all fire deaths are traumatic, but we just lost 4 kids about a month ago. And just this past week, we went to Columbus County, the community where these 4 precious lives were lost. They donated 1,000 fire alarms, smoke alarms, and we distributed over 20 departments in that community and did canvassing. Now, we do year-round smoke alarm grants, which we provide those grants through our Fire Safe Cigarette program. And so around year-round, we have those canvassing grant programs that situations like this, we are a reactive society, and we have to actually, utilize things like this to actually go out and educate the community. And this was a huge success, and we could not do it without our partners at Kidde helping us through these times. So we want to thank Kidde for what they have done and continue partnership in the future. And they have been such a great partner with NASFM as well, being a sponsor of our annual conference, and of course providing grants and smoke alarms to throughout through the U.S.
All right. Thank you, Brian. I have to echo what you just said. So I'm even at Bonita, for those that I don't know. I lead communications and government relations at Kidde. And Brian, I just have to say that it's such a pleasure to get to partner with you, with the North Carolina State Fire Marshals Office, but also NASFM and all the fire departments around the country. It's a partnership, right? It takes a village to keep communities safe, and we're just happy and grateful to be a part of that. So a little bit about Kidde, for those that might not know who we are or what we do. So we are a leading manufacturer of residential smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, fire extinguishers, and other devices to detect hazards in the home. We're #1 in North America, so US and Canada. We have a strong presence. We've been around for a long time. We're a 100-year-old brand. Continue the same commitment of safety, quality, innovation as day one. And as we talk about community risk reduction, it's very near and dear to our heart. We actually have a program called Cause for Alarm, because we believe that saving lives is a cause for alarm. And we know that alarms also can double the chances of escaping a house fire safely and play a key role in keeping communities safe. So we developed the Cause for Alarm program a few years ago after the terrible fires that happened in the Bronx and Philadelphia within just 1 week of each other. We've been doing CRR for a long time, but it really was those moments that made us want to do more, and we rallied behind this cause, no pun intended, to really hone in and double down on the efforts. The way we structured the program is in 3 areas. So we really focus on education and partnerships with key experts like NASFM and of course all the fire departments that we work with. Access to safety devices through smoke and CO alarm, whether it's donations or just availability, making sure that they're available in retailers and with customers, and then driving systemic change through public-private partnerships. We know that different states have different regulations and legislations, and we just want to make sure that we do the best for the community to help keep not only the community safe, but our firefighters safe as well. So it's a true partnership every day, and we're just, again, happy to be a part of it. So as we think of education, if we go to the next slide, we're really excited because this year we have a new tool that we just recently launched in the US, and it's called the Prepare, Plan, Practice tool. As you see there, it's under the Cause for Alarm umbrella, and it's a really neat augmented reality tool that we created. If we go to the next slide, it has a little bit more detail on what it includes. So it's a first of its kind digital tool. It's really aimed at promoting personalized fire and CO safety at home. So literally with your phone or with your tablet, you can use it, and it leverages the augmented reality technology to see what a fire would look like in your home. So it's really making it accessible and making it engaging, something that we meet people where they are, right? Everyone's on their phones, everyone's, using tablets. So why not leverage that channel to share such valuable information as fire safety and CO safety, making it accessible, engaging, so that everyone in the family, not just adults, but kids too, we have a family-friendly version of it that people can use. So if we go to the next slide, I'll give you a little bit of the story behind it. We all know on this call very well that house fires are speeding up, right? It used to be that you had about 7 minutes to escape, and now you have about 2, given the synthetic materials, the open floor plans. So the problem is, as we all know too, that the public thinks that they have more time to escape than they actually do, right? So there was a survey done where people thought they actually had 6 minutes to escape, but the reality is that we have less than 2 in many cases. The other issue is that people think 40% of people think that they're going to be hit by lightning or win the lottery before having a house fire. Yet the NFPA reports a house fire happening in the US about every 95 seconds. So there's a mismatch between perception and reality. And so we want to continue to close that gap, right? To make sure that people are prepared and do practice, right? They have the devices, they practice, they develop and practice their escape plans. Because the reality is that we can lose lives if they run out of time and they're not well prepared. And I know that you all know this very well front hand. So we want to show people the critical role that time plays in keeping families safe and make sure that they're prepared. So that's a little bit of background. And then as we think of the tool itself, and again, this is a shot of it here. As I mentioned, it's a first of its kind, really leveraging this technology that makes it really realistic and brings it to people's homes, designed to educate people about fire and CO safety in the home. We wanted to make it accessible, so it doesn't need a download. It doesn't need anything like that. You just need to have, like I said, a phone, a tablet, and access to Wi-Fi. So it's done through a website link. And I'll share more about it later, but it's causefораlarm.org where you can go and check it out. And we want to prioritize fire and CO safety to prevent tragedy, of course, and making sure that people are prepared. So as I mentioned earlier, there's no headset required, no downloads required. It's safe. We'd made sure that it really helped people understand all the different phases of preparing an escape plan. It's simple and engaging. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a version that has a family-friendly mode, and it has a little jingle that we created to make it fun for the kids. So hopefully this is something that people engage with and want to learn more about fire and CO safety. And again, it's another tool in our toolbox. All of you are welcome to use it. We hope that it reaches many people, and that we can hopefully, with a tool like this, continue to help save lives. So on the next slide, it covers a little bit about, as we develop the tool, you can imagine that it took a while to design it. It took a while to create it, but we did work hand in hand with a lot of our partners, both in Canada and the US, fire departments, fire experts. We wanted to make sure that the tool met the needs of everyone. We wanted to make sure that it was up to speed with the latest information that we have on fire safety. We also wanted to make sure that we kind of debunked the myth that fires are these beautiful things that we see in the movies or in TVs where the flames are so beautiful, when we know it's a ball of smoke, right? And you can't see your feet basically in front of you. So we tried to be as realistic as possible while balancing, something that was engaging and not frightening, right, for folks. But so we worked really closely with experts on developing the tool, and we will feel proud of the work that we've done so far. So in the next slide, we worked with, in Canada, we launched the tool in Canada first, and we worked with Todd Talbot to help bring it to life, to show how it works, how people can use it. He's a HGTV host up in Canada. He actually had his house burned down in wildfires in British Columbia, so he has firsthand experience in losing a home to a fire. So that's why he felt so passionate about this project. And so we partnered with him to help promote the tool. For the next section here, I'll just have the video play so you can see a little bit more about the tool.
When a fire happens, most people think that they have about 6 minutes to escape their house. But in reality, you could have as little as 2 minutes to escape. And this is what your home could look like. Fires burn 8 times faster than 50 years ago because we use more synthetic materials now, and they burn so much faster and hotter than natural materials. I can tell you from personal experience that the moment the fire hits, it's too late to make a plan. So I'm helping Kidde launch this digital tool that you can use to prepare, plan, and practice your escape to keep your family safe. Want to see what your home might look like if you were experiencing a fire? Go to this link and try this fire simulation and learn life-saving fire safety tips.
Awesome. So that just gives you a little flavor of what the tool is. In the next couple slides, I'll take you through a little bit more information on the different aspects of the tool. So first, it starts with testing your knowledge, and it asks the user, how much time do you have to escape a house fire? Hopefully everyone on this call will get it right. And then you'll continue to the next phase of the tool, and it's the demonstration mode. So this is where it alerts the user to put their camera in the room where they want to simulate the fire. And as you can see there, it brings to life what a potential fire could look like, whether you're in your family room, in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever you might be. And it takes you through what it would look like at 30 seconds, at a minute 30, 2 minutes, exactly, like kind of phasing it out. So people get an idea of how fast this happens, right? And how fast the smoke comes up, so that they get ready for the next step of what they need to do. So that's the demonstration mode. The learn mode is a little bit more information on what is needed in the home as it relates to fire and CO safety. So there are different hot spots. So it's a simulated home, and you have to move your phone, and it'll take you through the different hotspots in the house, and you can click on it, for example, where the smoke alarm would go, and it will tell you need smoke alarms in every level, inside the bedroom, in the hallways, all that information for both smoke and CO. So it's intended to inform people of what they need to have a home that is protected, and they can find information about all these different devices in the tool. So that's the learn mode. Then in the next mode, we have the practice mode, right? So once they learn about what devices they need, what they need to do to create a fire escape plan with their family, right? Knowing 2 ways out, practicing day and night, 2 times a year, all that good stuff. Once they have all that information and they actually create their escape plan, now it's the moment to practice it, right? And we told them since the beginning they have about 2 minutes to escape their house fire. And so this practice mode is really tailored to put all that information in practice, whether you're in an apartment or a single family home. You have the option to pick which one of the two you live in, and the timer will start. So it will say, "Are you ready?" And then you hit yes. And then you will go and put into practice your family escape plan. And at the end of it, you say, I'm done, I'm out of my house. You click on it and it'll tell you how much time it took you to escape the fire, right? The simulated fire. And then this way, you can see if it took you longer than it needed to, or if you did it on time. There's an option to share it with friends and social media, so you can invite other people to also engage and practice with the tool. So it's really intended to be kind of like a gamified experience of fire safety, so that people can actually put it in practice in their house and hopefully share the experience, so inspire more people to do it themselves. So that's the practice mode. So if we go to the next slide, we also have what we are calling the safety hub. So after you went all through all those modes and you're just really curious on what else do I need, or questions about different devices or whatnot. So the safety hub is intended to be the go-to for other questions that you might have about fire or CO safety. And you can really engage with the content here. A lot of the information included in the hub is information that we have accessible on our website. But this is just a way to keep it all together and make it really easy for people to engage with the information. So they can spend time, as much time as they want, come back to it later, whatever. Again, it's just another resource in the tool. So that's a bit more about the tool itself. It's as we think of CRR and we think of the Cause for Alarm campaign that Kidde launched a few years ago, we've really honed in on different insights to hopefully connect with people at a more human level, at a more emotional level. So we look at statistics, we look at data. Like Brian said, data is so important in everything we do in this industry. So we look at data and see, what are the communities most impacted by house fires? And we all know there's different groups for different reasons. So the first year, we really focused on the African American community. That's nearly twice as likely to be impacted by a house fire death. And we worked with the artists that you see there on the slide in this mural close to where the Bronx fires happened, to raise awareness of the importance of smoke alarms and fire safety within this community, because of course we don't want those tragedies to happen again and again and again, right? So that was year one. And every year we continue to build on it. We continue to find new insights and ways to connect with the public. The second year, we focused on the fact that in schools, children practice more than 100 fire drills, right, between their K through 12 experience. But when we talk about home and how much have they practiced the fire drill at home, it's only 20-some%, as you see there, right, have developed and practiced the home fire escape, where we all know is the higher likelihood of having a fire. So we wanted to kind of bring that to life and really equip families with the tools they need. Right there, you see Kirk Cousins. We partnered with him the second year. That's his son there. And they were going through the toolkit that we created for fire safety and how to create a fire escape plan. So again, trying to give, engaging tools and resources for families to do this on their own. The third year, we really honed in on the insight that I mentioned earlier about people thinking that they're going to win the lottery or be struck by lightning before having a house fire. Yet these tragedies happening so often across North America. So in this year, we worked with children. The 5 children that you see there in that picture are house fire survivors. 2 Canadian, 3 American. And each of them have different stories to tell, but they're all centered around the importance of having a working smoke alarm, hearing the sound, and escaping the house. quickly. And of course, in their words, it's very powerful to hear those stories, but we wanted to inspire other people to prioritize fire and CO safety in their homes. And leveraging the powerful voices of these children, we were able to bring that to life. So really exciting work there. If we go to the next slide, as we think of education, we've developed through all these years that I took you through, we've created a lot of different tools. We have bilingual assets that you see there, the toolkit. This past year, we also had a partnership with Hasbro and the Peppa Pig franchise that you see there. It's obviously a cartoon character that is very beloved by children and families. And so trying to connect with kids in a way that was exciting and engaging, and with families, it's something you can do with your kids as well. If you go to the Kidde YouTube page, you can find all these videos that I'm referencing, the living jingle. You see the testimonials of the individual kids there. Each of them shared their story of house fire survival. And then the children's book, The Safety Saves the Day, that you see there, is also available on our website, kidde.com website. And it's bilingual as well. So it could be downloaded and it could be used. Again, these are all tools in the toolbox that could be leveraged to continue to build on the community risk reduction efforts across the country. In the next slide, it talks about the importance of partnerships. So we can't do this alone. It's impossible. So a lot of what we do with Cause for Alarm is trying to cast a wide web and really bringing people together, bringing organizations together. It takes a village. We've worked with organizations that you see there, including community organizations like the PTA or the American Red Cross, to the industry organizations, obviously like NASFM here today, or NFPA, or the NCOA as it relates to carbon monoxide. Influential voices, so trying to work with influencers and celebrities, because obviously this is a matter that's important for them and their families as well. Retailers, media, a community. Those are some pictures of events that we've had in schools. But it is really important to work together, and it's something that I think is necessary in order to make a difference and move the needle. So that's a little bit about Cause for Alarm. And, as we think of CRR and helping, our mission is really just to help make every home a safer home, no matter who you are, no matter where you live. We hope to do that with everything we do. This year, as I took you through, we have the new AR tool. And as I mentioned, you can go to causefораlarm.org to get access to the tool, practice with it, share it. And we know we have the same mission, to help keep people safe, to make every home a safer home. Let's continue to join forces and work together on this. We're always ready to help, and we want to continue to do more. Reach out if you have any questions. We're here now today, but of course, you can reach out anytime. And we appreciate everything that you do to keep communities safe. So with that, I will hand it back to Tom for our Q&A session.
Well, thank you so much, Brian and Yvonette, for those great presentations. Now it's time for Q&A, but before we get there, I just wanted to quickly remind everybody that at the end of the webinar, a link will pop up, and you could help us by taking a brief survey, because your opinion will help us make better presentations going forward. So if you have the time, please consider answering that survey. So for the Q&A, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of Zoom and put them in there, and we'll be happy to answer as many as we can right here and right now. But let's get this started then. So we've got a few already, and I will start with this. This is for Brian. Drawing on your personal experience, what methods of community engagement have you found to be the most impactful?
Actually, just working with the fire departments in the communities, having them to get out in their communities and knock on doors and do community surveys, and making sure that they have a working smoke alarm, and also having a plan is important. So that's been very successful working throughout North Carolina, and that has been going on for many years, even before my time. It has been very successful working in the communities with the fire departments, because our firefighters are still heroes and beloved by the community.
Awesome. All right. To build on that, how does the fire service work with companies like Kidde in support of CRR?
Well, it goes back that federal, state, and local government can't do it alone, and so we have to embrace the partnerships for our private companies, community partners, nonprofits. It's very important because we cannot do it alone without these partnerships to be successful.
Okay, great. Um, so somebody asks, I see the Kidde app. Is the prep plan practice tool included in the app? Even that maybe you can help with that.
Yeah, so the Prepare Plan Practice tool is available on the causeforalarm.org website, but you have to reach it through a tablet or a phone. It will not work on a desktop or a laptop. So it's intended to be, accessible remote. So that's why it can be found through that. And then one thing I did want to add, Tom, if I may, is the AR tool where we created an industry toolkit that we will share for all the people participating here today, just to help everyone understand different ways you can leverage the tool. And we've created some assets for you to use, whether it's social media, flyers that you can print out or whatever, QR codes that you can use so people can quickly access the tool. So that we'll share as a follow-up to the session today.
Okay, great. And yeah, and just to Gina, just it's a link that you follow to get to a browser-based thing for the AR. So it's not specifically part of the Kidde app, which is for like the alarms themselves, just to clarify on that. All right, and this question is for Yvonette. How has the AR tool been received by users so far? Do you find that it engages kids more than the other traditional learning materials?
Yeah, so we actually, as I mentioned earlier, launched the tool in Canada first. So it's been out there for months now. So, and we've gotten really good feedback on it. It's been very well received both by the industry and homeowners. And I think as any kid, they engage with electronics so much on a day-to-day basis that, again, this is just another way to do that. Our recommendation is obviously to combine the electronic experience with, for example, those toolkit pages that we have that have the coloring, book or the different steps to create a fire escape plan. So you can mix and match the different tools, but definitely the electronic version of the tool has been very engaging and fun to use. And we've gotten some really good feedback from the community.
Very good. Very good. Glad to hear it. How does an organization, sorry, this is for Brian. How does an organization like NASFM view the AR tool? Do you think this sort of strategy will make a difference compared to traditional methods?
Absolutely. Everybody is using their phones, and the AI methods are so popular now by having access to that. We have seen a lot of the AI tools that are being used from our sprinkler associations that are very useful and so realistic for those that are in the fire service, those that use a sprinkler app. Can't recall the name of it right now, but the sensations from that by putting the goggles on and the earphones, sometimes you feel the sensations of like being within that when you've been in the atmosphere of a sprinkler system going off. So it makes it so realistic and brings it to light because what you see, you remember. So many people are virtual type learners. So I think this is a great tool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, so Brian, also, what can communities do or who can they reach out to help bring more home safety focused events or demonstrations or learning opportunities to their towns or counties?
Well, I think, the center and hub of every community, I always say is your local fire department. And then, of course, you have your Safe Kids organizations. They all intertwine, and it's great partnerships for your local health departments, partnership for children. So it's the community advocacy groups that really work in the community. And of course, one of our biggest partners is American Red Cross. They're in every community as well, and they always want to partner with us. And I know you provide them um, equipment as well to do their campaigns.
Yep, great. Um, Well, there was another question that said, what devices will the AR tool work on? Do I need to download an app? But I can just answer that. You do not need to download an app. Again, you just reach it by visiting causeforalarm.org, and then you can get a link to the tool there, and you can reach it on your phone or your tablet using your browser. Any other questions? Because as of right now, we've reached the end of our questions. So if anyone has one, please submit it now, and we can answer it, or we can wrap up. All right. Well, I think we've reached the end of our webinar then. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please be sure to take the survey when we end the webinar, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.